Did Dan Hurley turn down the opportunity to be the next head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers because he wants to be the next head coach for the New York Knicks? Multiple NBA insiders as well as college basketball insiders have now linked Hurley to the Knicks. I'm going to break it down on today's show. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. But first, I got to make sure everyone watching today's video is subscribed to the channel. We are in a race to 50,000 subscribers. I am lucky enough to host our Giants Now channel here at Chat Sports, and the real ones over there, they've been talking some noise. They say they are gonna beat the Knicks Now real ones to 50,000 subscribers. And I know Knicks fans do not like to lose. So if you love the Knicks and you want free videos every day, hit that sub button right now. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hope everybody had a good weekend. And over the weekend, there was a lot of talk. Will Dan Hurley leave the UConn Huskies to become the next head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers? But in between that drama, there were multiple people that are connected to UConn, Hurley, and the NBA that had heard and believe that he actually wants to be the next head coach for the Knicks and not the Los Angeles Lakers. But let's start with the news of the day across the association. Adrian Wojnarowski says, breaking, Connecticut's Dan Hurley has turned down the Los Angeles Lakers' 6-year, $70 million offer and will return to chase a third straight national title. LA would have made him one of the NBA's 6th highest paid coaches. Sounds like they were being pretty cheap to me. We'll show you what the top head coaches in this league make coming up in a second, but I also thought this tweet from Woj was noteworthy. He said, after a dogged pursuit of Hurley over the past couple of weeks, the Lakers will regroup and resume bringing in candidates for interviews with hopes of hiring a coach by the draft. James Borrego is expected to remain part of the group, and Lakers could do their first formal interview with J.J. Redick. So, Hurley, he's going to stay with UConn this year. He turned down $70 million from the Lakers, but it does not sound like his dreams of being an NBA coach are finished. Sam Amico of Amico Hoops says this, I think Dan Hurley gets a nice extension from UConn this summer. I have heard the NBA job he would really want as a gritty East Coast guy would be the New York Knicks. Hurley will get a raise, and the Lakers will get J.J. Redick, and to say at least they tried. But it's not just Sam who thinks this. Ian O'Connor, longtime New York sports columnist, says Dan Hurley made a very smart decision to stay at UConn. I think he'll win another championship ring or two, then finish the final 10 to 15 years of his coaching career coaching the one NBA team he was meant to coach, the New York Knicks. Oh, Ian O'Connor. And then you got Colin Cowherd, Big East, East Coast, New Jersey, the Knicks. Colin Cowherd says, I'm Dan Hurley. Wife is from New Jersey. Wait until the Knicks job opens. It will. It's the NBA. Welcome to the offseason. Welcome to June 10th when FS1 doesn't have anything else to talk about. But you know what? My job is to talk about the latest news and rumors that surround the New York Knicks. So my question to you before I dive any further into this and I give you my opinion is, pick a coach. Who would you rather be the coach of the New York Knicks for the next 5 seasons? Is it Thomas Thibodeau or is it Dan Hurley? I want to hear from you in the comments section. Overall, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm upset I'm even having to talk about this on my show today. It is my job, but you know what? This is a joke. This is unbelievable. I am disgusted that we are having to do this. Thibodeau is about to get a major extension, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to be paid as a top 10 highest paid coach in this league. And Dan Hurley just turned down the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't think he has any motivation right now to leave for the NBA. Maybe if he three-peats, he will change. Maybe if they lose this year, it will change. But right now, he's focused on the Big East, and I'm focused on Tom Thibodeau getting a bag. And Mark Stein, one of the most plugged-in NBA insiders, said this, quote, league sources say that Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau should be viewed as a virtual certainty to score a contract extension this offseason at the market rate, which translates to an annual wage of at least $10 million per season. And that's what he deserves. Because Tom Thibodeau, at minimum, like even if you hate Tom Thibodeau, if you think he is a war criminal because he played Josh Hart too many minutes, or he's a bad coach because he ran Derrick Rose into the ground, whatever you think about Tom Thibodeau, you at least have to admit he's at minimum a top 10 NBA coach. And I believe he's closer to 5 than 10. What he has done with the New York Knicks since taking over as the head coach is maybe the greatest success story of any coach in this league right now. The way that the spot the Knicks were in just 5 years ago, compared to where they are right now, one of 3 teams to reach the second round of the playoffs in each of the last 2 seasons. He's done a great job. He is a part of this culture. He has built this culture. When you think of the Knicks, you think of Tibbs. I think it's absolutely a joke to talk about Dan Hurley replacing him right now when he has never been a head coach in the NBA. More thoughts around the corner, but first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS. And Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app, will match your first deposit up to $100. Win big money. Withdraw your winnings by picking more or picking less. And you do that at Prize Picks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. The NBA Finals are going on right now, and I'm a big winner after 2 games, but I'm also looking forward to the NFL season, which is about 90 days away. They've already got some season-long plays that you can make and include in your lineup. I'm taking the more on Brian Burns sacks, big-time Giants fan, 8.75. I'm going with the more on that. I think Justin Jefferson's going to get back to doing what he does, which is score touchdowns on Sundays. I'll take more on his receiving touchdowns. But it's NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, and so much more. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. You create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply pick more or pick less. Turn $10 into $1,000, or turn $20 into $60. Do it at Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. I'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. For all the people that think Dan Hurley will be a better head coach in the National Basketball Association than Tom Thibodeau, I'm going to let you think what you think. Because we don't know. We don't know what Hurley would be in the NBA. But we do know what Tom Thibodeau has been and what he's meant to the New York Knicks organization. Since becoming the head coach of the New York Knicks in 2021, the New York Knicks have been one of the best teams in the NBA. It's simple as that. His first year after taking over, where a team won less than 25 games, he got them in the playoffs at 41-31. They were a 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Unfortunately, they lost in round 1. Year 2, a little bit of a step back. They fall back to the 11th seed in the East. Julius Randle really struggles. R.J. Barrett comes on late, but they finished the 11th spot, 37-45, and missed the playoffs in totality. But the last 2 years, this franchise has been humming. 47-35, 5th in the Eastern Conference, losing round 2 of the playoffs. This year, 50 wins with no Randle, no Robinson, no Anunoby, no, Bogey. They were hurt everywhere. 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. Got to the second round. Again, I'll say it. They are one of 3 teams to make it to the second round in the NBA in the last 2 seasons. It's the Knicks, it's the Nuggets, and it's the Boston Celtics. That is a great group to be in. But it's not just the team success that Tibbs should get credit for. He should get a lot of credit for the development and the maturation and the progress that players on this roster have gone through under his coaching. Jalen Brunson goes from a guy that was unplayable in the Western Conference Finals for the Dallas Mavericks to being looked at as a top 5, top 6, top 7 player in the NBA. Julius Randle was a player that was bouncing around the association from the Lakers to the Pelicans to nobody wanted him. He signs with the Knicks. He becomes a 3-time All-Star and a 2-time All-NBA player. Josh Hart had got traded 3 times before becoming a New York Knick. All they had to give up was pick 23 and Cam Reddish for Josh Hart. And after half a season, Josh Hart signs a $90 million deal, and he had one of the better postseason runs of anybody in the league this year. Donte DiVincenzo was the guy that the fans of the Golden State Warriors did not want him back last year. He was awful in the playoffs for the Warriors. And now he's one of the best players on the Knicks. Career year, unbelievable in the playoffs, and hit big-time shot after big-time shot. These 4 players, they had their best years of their career under Tom Thibodeau. And so did these 3 guys. And Miles McBride. Deuce McBride is now a serviceable player in the NBA and really an above-average player after being a second-round pick and being a guy that rode the bench. Now he is someone that every team that is in trade talks with the Knicks is asking about trading for Miles McBride. Isaiah Hartenstein signed a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Knicks. After those 2 years, he could be inclined to sign a 4-year, $80 million deal. And Mitchell Robinson, a second-round pick that didn't go to college, is now looked at as the best offensive rebounder in the league and one of the better shot-blocking and rim-protecting bigs. All 7 of these players have reached the peak of their powers because of themselves and the work that they've put in. But Tom Thibodeau, he has helped them along the way. And everybody that plays for Tom Thibodeau over the New York Knicks loves him. You hear how Jalen Brunson talks about him. He's one of his most important mentors in his life when you talk or listen to Jalen Brunson speak about Tom Thibodeau. Josh Hart loves him. Donte DiVincenzo loves him. Deuce loves him. Randle loves him. Anybody that's worn a New York Knicks jersey in the past 3 years loves playing for Mr. Thomas Thibodeau. My overall take on it is this. Tibbs, he built the culture for the Knicks. He deserves credit for that. Unless shit hits the fan, unless everything goes crazy and the Knicks don't make the playoffs next year or they miss the playoffs the next 2 years, I expect Tom Thibodeau to be the head coach for the New York Knicks for a long, long time. Tibbs doesn't have much in his life outside of basketball. He'll tell you that. He loves this team. He views his players as his kids. And he's going to be the head coach for the New York Knicks, I could say, for maybe the next 5, 6, or 7 years. And we're lucky to have him. We really, really are. And he should get a bag. He deserves it. The Knicks were spiraling. They were in a horrible spot before Leon Rose, World Wide West, and everybody got here. And now they're looked at as one of the most well-run organizations in sports. There's not many teams that 2 years in a row make the Final 8. They are a part of the Elite 8, if you want to call it that, and the flexibility that the New York Knicks have. He's going to get a bag. He is going to get paid. You look at the top 5 highest paid coaches in the NBA, you're looking at Steve Kerr making $17.5 million. I don't expect Tibbs to come close to that number, considering Kerr has rings, as does Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches of all time. He makes $16 million. I don't think he'll make more than Eric Spoelstra at $15 million just because of the time that Spo has been with Miami and the championships that he has won. But Tom Thibodeau has done more for the Knicks than what Ty Lue has done for the Los Angeles Clippers. I know Ty Lue is an NBA champion. Shout out to LeBron James and shout out to Kyrie Irving. But if you told me that Tom Thibodeau signed a deal worth $14 million per year, I'd be like, yep, you know what? That sounds about right. I'll tell you this much. He deserves more money than the oldest babysitter in the world, Monty Williams. He's making $13.1 million. Tibbs deserves that at the bare minimum. He should be the 5th highest paid coach in the league. Because I think he might just be a top 5 coach in this league. Should the Knicks extend Tom Thibodeau? That's the question that I want to end today's show on. What do all the real ones think? I know he's a polarizing coach. You either hate him or you love him. But I think everybody should at least respect him for what he's done as this guy leading this team. Should they extend him? Why for yes and for no? And the answer is yes. It just is what it is. It's really not up to me. It's not up to you anymore. We can have our opinions, but it's going to get done. And I have no doubt that Tibbs is going to get a lucrative contract extension. It's going to happen. We'll just be here breaking it down when it does. That's why you subscribe, and that's why you turn the notifications on. And you can also hit me up on social media. I'm trying to post more on Twitter and more on Instagram, while also keeping up multiple videos every single day. So if you want more Knicks news and rumors, hit me up at @MarshallGreen_.